is there anything you particularly are kind of stuck with or trying to sort out or figure out? Because that's
Actually,
kind of the theme for what we're doing.
uh,
Um,
mhm.
yep.
Yeah, for the longest time, hindi ko matapos-tapos yung thesis ko. Mostly because it's quite new. Not really quite new, pero uh, it was difficult to find related literature to make my case. And sa thesis, kailangan talaga yun. But recently, I've been finding more and more. And I've been able to take myself out of the, ano ba, laziness or yung
Right.
wala akong ginagawa. And I
Cool.
just want to act more, know more about it. Kasi just like my research, perfectionism is part of yung thesis ko, the title. Pero it's not, it's like you want it to be optimal or walang mali. But it's not like too bad naman on the far end of perfectionism. Yeah, that's about it.
Perfectionism. Perfectionism is based on a lie.
I'm not
I don't know.
sh-
I don't know. I don't know if you noticed this. Let me explain.
yeah.
You're chasing the image of perfect, and it's often a mental image. This is most people most of the time. So
Mhm.
what happens is they have this whole story concocted in their heads, and they very rarely really engage the world, or they engage the world with their multicolored glasses. And so they're not dealing with reality itself. They're dealing with images which cannot be sustained or lived up to. Okay? And it escapes them that the way to actually have a something that's close to perfection is to actually engage the world. You lose out on emergent phenomena, the things which can only happen by you engaging the world and challenging its edges. When you're too embroiled in your inner worlds, and it can look like sometimes they are engaging and they are doing things in the real world, but very often, if they're still doing that from the glasses of their seeking perfectionism, they're not seeing how things are. Okay? And it can be kind of a protective mechanism. Okay. But there is a lot of not engaging how things actually are. And so the process actually takes longer. Okay? And the perfection, so to speak, that they're trying to achieve is ultimately unachievable because it has no basis with how things truly actually are. Versus, by example, relative perfection, well, where it engages the world in truth by such mechanisms as this will do for now. I mean, this is perfect for the moment. And why not? Okay, it may not be a sustainable thing, but if it's not such a bad thing for the moment, then then why not? Okay?
Mhm.
But if they're forever chasing like a perfection thing, it keeps them from seeing what's in front of them. Does that kind of help?
Kind
Cool.
of, kind of. Pero in my research,
What did you get from
because
that?
uh, it's quite it's hard to say because when in my research and my
Yeah.
thesis,
Yun ba,
yeah,
ano topic ng thesis mo, tol?
moderating effect of perfection, the moderating effect of grit on the perfectionism of on the self-compassion of perfectionist med students. So, yung perfectionism kasi, based on what I've read, is marami siyang definition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
And
true.
si Stover has yung pinaka more mostly accepted definition. But the scale I'm using for perfectionism is by Hewitt and Flett, yung self-oriented, other-oriented, and socially prescribed. So self-oriented, I have to be perfect. Socially
Okay.
prescribed, other people need I need to be perfect because other people need me to be perfect. So kumbaga if we look at it, it's like yung I need to have high grades because of my parents demand me to have high grades. Tapos the
Okay.
last one is other oriented. Other people have to be perfect, which is actually related to Machiavellianism and parang the dark triad of personality.
Uh-huh.
But
Okay.
yung perfectionism for kasi may ano there's this scale already developed by Hewitt and Flett, so that's what I'm using.
Mm-hmm.
But uh on some level, yeah, I guess it works. Yung what do you call this? When you let me try to recall yung what you said about it's them really not acting. So I guess that's already more on them uh on how the dynamics. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's your focus. Pero the focus of kasi my research is more on what they're thinking right now or how do I yung current mindset nila. It's not
Okay.
really
Okay.
the dynamics with the environment.
Sure. Let's play with something. You know how you were starting to begin to express a while ago to me that you may have personally, it sounded like that you may have personally been hit by perfectionism as well. Like you wanted to be a certain standard, but you couldn't find data. You couldn't find, you know,
E,
research. It sounded
on
like that, right?
yeah, but
Okay.
ano, it is it really is me wanting to find research, pero
Right.
I need that research in order to prove my thesis, which
I
is
get that. I get that.
actually I changed my thesis from moderating to predicting, pero ayaw because wala akong makita talagang ano literature. I couldn't make a moderating study uh
Right.
with what I had before. But recently
Right.
I have new literature na. So
Right.
sinabi
Right.
ng advisor ko, balik ka na lang kasi binasa niya yung mga comments ng panelist ko. Tapos sabi niya, okay, balik ka na. Balik ka na lang because hindi, yun naman ano kailangan mo lang naman i-prove na pwede to. And right now, kahit konti, may katiting naman na related literature,
Right.
okay na.
Right.
But
Right. So
before, yeah,
can I just use the, okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Before you were saying?
uh, so last na. So before, I couldn't get anything until siguro 2019 pa ako nagsimula. Siguro mga 2020, 2021, saka lang nagkaroon, upon review recently, saka lang nagkaroon ng mga bagong makakatulong sa akin. So, for the longest time, siguro during the pandemic, I was really, uh, wala akong ginagawa. Ngayon,
Okay.
and with the help of my parents, I want to do better. So, ngayon, I am already more proactive. And for me, socialization really helps. Yung wala,
Mhm.
compared to, you're just alone. And then when you actually get to talk to more people, mas nakakatulong to move, to
Right.
move myself forward.
Right.
Yeah, so that's
Sure.
about it.
Coco.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks. Coco, how much of the new research is 2024?
Actually, I haven't checked, pero parang hanggang ngayon, grit and self-compassion, wala pa masyad,
No. Uh,
wala masyado
uh,
nagdagdag before from
right.
when
Yung mga nadagdag, anong year yun?
siguro latest is 2021.
Okay, so let me point out something. It looked to you that between 2019 and 2024 that there was no data. Okay? It
Yeah.
looked that way, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Again, emotions will color how we behave and our ability to see things.
yeah.
And it was difficult for you to engage the world enough to actually see that there actually was data. And it's not 2024 recent. Pero 2024 ka lang kumikilos.
Yeah.
It's not that
I
it's
get it.
not there, it's that we don't engage the world enough. Does that kind of make sense? Again, illustrating, I hope you
I,
don't mind, exactly what we're talking about, right?
yeah.
it
Yeah.
looks a certain way, and how it looks is reality to us. And unfortunately, we behave that way, even if it's from a faulty perspective, including the lens of things must be perfect.
Yeah.
Does that kind of make sense?
It
Yeah.
makes sense,
So
and it's really
that's
good.
my
Gusto ko sana malagay sa thesis ko yun, pero hindi kaya. But yeah, I really like.
I'm not asking you to. I'm pointing out something very, very practical, because we could talk about this all day, or we could talk about something useful. And I've looked at this too, because perfectionism is part of the complex. My own research work is into procrastination. Okay, and it's
yeah,
there.
It's part
It's
of it.
there. It's there. It's there. And so it overlaps with stuff I've studied for, what's it now? A year and a half.
Kung pwede nga,
Okay.
kung pwede nga, I can consult with you more about that. Pero that's for another topic.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So I hope that kind of
It did.
experientially ties in what I'm trying to say. Okay.
So it's mostly I guess it adds and reinforces what I've come to realize. But
Good.
yeah,
And
I'd like to know more.
And I hope you see it's worked on yourself, because
It
nothing beats that. To see for yourself now, oh, this is a real thing and it's affected me, and I can do something about it.